Ed O'Keefe, Caitlin Huey-Burns, and Kelly O'Grady are covering Day 100, and we start with Ed O'Keefe, who is in Michigan ahead of President Trump's rally. Caitlin Huey-Burns also joins me on Capitol Hill. Kelly O'Grady will join us in just a moment. Ed, I think I know the answer to this, but why is the president in Michigan, and what on this 100-day mark is he leaning into most?
Well, he's leaning into undoing some of the tariffs, Major, in a state that is set to be adversely affected by them, given that the auto industry is the dominant one in the Wolverine state. He's also back here, in essence, to say thank you and stay tuned. Thank you for voting me into the White House last year, as Michigan did, in this Republican part of the state especially. But stay tuned, because you have some big Senate and governor's races in this state next year, and you've got to be motivated, organized, and ready to turn out for those candidates. The news on tariffs today, though, while confusing to most of us, in essence, he can say, I am taking away some of the costs associated with tariffs for at least automakers, who in this country cheered the decision today. But it doesn't mean that the cost of a vehicle, a new one, is going to get any less expensive given the other tariffs that are in place. While there will be tariffs on imported vehicles, tariffs on auto parts that are imported from places like Canada, they're essentially removing some tariffs on the raw materials. So the automakers aren't necessarily paying it 3 times. And it's retroactive. So if they've already paid some, they can get some of the money back. Some confusing math involved, but basically he's bending to the pleas of the auto industry and said, you need to do this so that the cost of a vehicle and our ability to pay for workers and other supplies that we need doesn't skyrocket. He's also here because he's making an announcement regarding the future of the Selfridge Air National Guard base, which has been a big topic of concern and discussion among state political leaders as the military continues to revamp its air supply, if you will, and was coming here to make that announcement in an official capacity before speaking here to supporters. Let's point out, Major, it's less than an hour until this is scheduled to begin. This room is not full. This is not one of the larger crowds he's ever spoken to. These are the most devoted supporters and some of the Republicans who'd like to be on those ballots next year.
Ed, also in the first 100 days, the president has done a lot to change the composition of boards, whether they be quasi-independent or in different organizations. And today we learned the president removed Doug Emhoff and others from the Holocaust Museum board. You have some new reporting on this.
We do. Among those that were named by President Biden last year to the board, his former chief of staff, Ron Klain, his former deputy national security advisor, John Feiner, Anthony Bernal, a top aide and longtime consigliere for the First Lady, and the former second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, who in a statement to CBS News says he was informed today of his removal. Quote, let me be clear, Holocaust remembrance and education should never be politicized. To turn one of the worst atrocities in history into a wedge issue is dangerous, and it dishonors the memory of 6 million Jews murdered by Nazis that this museum was created to preserve. No divisive political decision will ever shake my commitment to Holocaust remembrance and education or to combating hate or anti-Semitism, and he says he will remain active on that issue. And he was, of course, during the Biden administration. Ron Klain told me that all of those appointed by the president last year have been removed, and that's at least a half dozen people who were pretty close to the president, worked for him at different times, and for the most part are Jewish Americans. Major?
Ed O'Keefe from Michigan, thank you so very much.